Hey, what's up, everybody? Davey here with Hat Stitch, and today I am gonna do some cool UV printed patches, and let me show you guys what we're gonna do. So we went on ahead and sent this out to our client. He approved it, and this is a UV printed patch on white leatherette with adhesive on the back. And he had already sent me this as an embroidered effect, so we went on ahead and printed it out for him. He approved it, sent him a copy of, or not a copy, but I sent him proof, you know. And he really liked it. But before I do get started, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, and turn that bell notification so you guys can get notified as to when we drop these cool videos. So with that being said, let's get to it. Now, I will say I do have a Chinese refined color UV printer, which is great. It's not the best, but it gets the job done, right? So I was always under the impression that you had to have the most expensive machines, and that's further from the truth. You don't need to have expensive machines to get the job done. You can literally get it done with machines like this. But I will say that I am in the process of getting a more expensive machine, not because it's expensive, but because it's gonna allow me to push out more productivity, and I'll be able to have a faster turnaround on all the things that I'm doing. So I am looking at the Mamaki 6042 Mark II-E. So I'm hoping to hear back from those guys this week, and hopefully we can get something done and get started. So before I do get started, like I said, I am gonna go and get some gloves because this machine has been sitting for 24 hours. And one of the things that I've noticed with this particular machine is that when it sits for 2 hours, for some weird reason, the ink tends to settle in, and my whites tend to be kind of like a tinted yellow. So I'm not a real big fan of that. So what I'm gonna do is, what I first do with these particular printers, what I do is I pull some of this stuff out. So what I do is I connect it to the waste tank. I pull the syringe out just to make sure that I have. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm pulling some ink from the print head, you know, extracting some of the ink, and what it's doing at the same time, it's flushing my lines. It's making sure that everything is flowing, and all I gotta do is, when I do this one time, I flush it for a while, and then I clean the head on the machine, and it does the job, and it prints perfect. So right now what we're gonna do is, I usually do about 10 to 15 mLs. But for this particular one, I think I did like 20. So, and I know that the white is working because if you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it looks kind of like gray. That just lets me know that the white is pulling through, which is what we want. So we'll do it one more time for good measure. I didn't do much there. All right, so that's done. Now, David, why do you put gloves on? I put gloves on because this happens, and my hands get all nasty and stuff. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go on ahead and come to the computer, hit clean, clean normal, and the machine's cleaning by itself. While it's doing that, let me show you guys what I'm gonna do next. All right, so now that that print head is cleaned up, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna lay down white, super bright white leatherette. And I wanted to show you guys where this is working. So with that being said, this leatherette is coming from Houston Acrylic. So shout out to Houston Acrylic for providing some cool leatherette. They provide the white leatherette, and it does have adhesive on the back, and it's actually pretty solid. So it's super bright, it's super thick. Not only do they sell leatherette, their main thing is acrylic. They have some really cool acrylic that they have going on. So make sure you guys check them out. I will leave the link in the description so you guys can see where they have and what they have and all that cool stuff. And I know that every month they do host like a lot of discounts and stuff. So it's definitely worth it to get the discounts going and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, you guys might want to check them out. I think you guys would actually enjoy it. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to go to my Rip software. And for those that don't know, I am using, like I said, a refined color. And I've already set this up in the Adobe Illustrator, and I've set it up with the registration marks. I've set it up to where I have certain things that are raised. So in this particular case, I have two different files. I have a file that has what I call the flat, which has the registration marks, and then it has the designs that I'm gonna UV print. So this particular case, we initially printed for the client, we did 2.3, no, I'm sorry, we did a 2-inch circle. And let me show you guys what ended up happening. So the client didn't, like, he saw the patch, and the patch was a little too small, right? So he's like, can we go a little bit higher or a little bit bigger on the patch and then maybe a little bit lower? I said, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a 2.5-inch circle and a 2.75. And then from there, we're gonna be able to determine what works based on the hat style. Because the initial hat that he had shown me, the crown was a lot smaller. So obviously the circle needed to be, or the patch needed to be a little bit smaller. But in this particular case, the hats do have a higher crown, which does call for a higher or a bigger patch. So in this case, we are gonna, again, this is all sample, guys. So one of the things that I've learned in this business, and I feel like that's probably been one of the reasons that has allowed me to be successful in it, is that yes, I've already acquired the client. So yes, it's taking me time to make sure that everything's good. But the thing is that running a business, you have to make sure that you constantly get continuing business. And it means getting continuous business from the same businesses that you acquire. And what I like to do is I like to make sure that things are approved by my client and that they like it and that they will actually like approve it and, you know, all that cool stuff. So what I ended up doing is I ended up, you know, getting those hats. I already pressed them. He didn't like them. Not that he didn't like them, they were too small, right? So thankfully I have access to those hats. And once he pays me, I'm gonna literally invest like 20 bucks, replace those four hats, and they're $5 a hat at 20 bucks. I mean, come on. I'd rather replace 4 hats than to do, you know, all 50 hats and have to replace all 50. So that's part of running business. Now I am trying this client out because I want to make sure that he loves what he's getting. Now, after I got off the phone with him and I showed him the pictures and stuff, he's like, dude, they look great. They look amazing. I'm excited. So that just tells me that by me taking the time to actually show what I'm showing, what I'm printing for them, they actually really just appreciate it because, like I said, it sets the tone for the rest of the projects that you will ever do for this particular client. So always, 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 always make sure that you guys are, what's it called? You know, sampling. Yeah, it's gonna take time, or it's gonna, you know, take a little bit longer, but I promise you sampling is gonna be your friend, and it's gonna be the one thing that sets you apart from everybody else. The horror stories that I've heard when people say, man, I took my shirts to X, Y, and Z and they printed them wrong. And I'm like, man, they didn't give you a sample, or nope, they just printed them wrong. I was like, okay. So I don't want that to happen ever here at Hat Stitch. So I always take it upon myself to just, you know, spend a little extra time and make sure that these projects are done right the first time. That way I don't have to repeat myself and waste unnecessary money, right? But with that being said, I'm using, let me see, what am I using? I am using Print EXP, and I'm about to print the flat. So because I did add a spot color to this one, I always add spot colors to everything. I'm not gonna turn it on. I'm gonna hit print. I'm gonna do 12 pass. I'm gonna hit print, and it's gonna print, and it's gonna keep it going here. So you guys gonna see this thing print really cool. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that the colors are going to be coming out good. So I've done this plenty enough times that when I do flush out, not only is it flushing out my, you know, my print head and all that stuff, but it's also flushing out anything that's kind of clogged. But I'm looking at the colors. They look great. Everything looks good. Nothing looks off. All the colors look like they're working. So I'm super excited. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's looking really, really solid. Now, I could just say, hey, I'm gonna, what's it called? Here are the samples. I can just do it flat. I mean, doing it flat looks really good, right? But for this particular client, I'm actually gonna pass this 2 more times, but it's gonna be just certain spots. That's gonna give me a spot UV raised or 3D raised, how they call it, on this particular patch. So really excited because this is something that's, you know, popping and trending. And I highly suggest that if you guys are looking to elevate your products that you offer, you know, maybe consider getting into a UV printer. Yeah, the industry's kind of oversaturated now. I will say that, but there's so much work for everybody to eat at the table. It's just a matter of how you go out there and hustle it. If you're a hustler, you won't have issues, you know, making money. So I don't know if you guys can see here. So far it's looking good. And what I want to make sure that is happening is I want to make sure that this print head is not hitting my Leatherette sheet, and it's not, so that's a good thing. So we are going to do this, and this is going to take roughly, let's see, it's saying here that the remaining time is 11 minutes, which I think I do agree with that because I am maybe halfway, but at the same time, since I am halfway, I don't think it's going to be 11 minutes. So far, the run time is 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So once I do the UV printing part of here and I do the textured raised and all that stuff, the next thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna run everything and put it into our Thunderbolt laser engraver, where I'll be able to print and cut and assign the registration marks in the program so that I can actually tell me where to cut. So right now is a print portion of the cut, and I'll explain it in a little bit, but let me know in the comment sections. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have any advice, anything that I could do better, anything that you guys want to see me do? Leave it in the comment section, man, because I want to grow and I want to continue to do cool things. I want to continue to, you know, be of service to you guys here on YouTube and to the community in general, man. So I'm super excited because I am also starting a Discord group where you guys can go in there and have real-time conversations, questions. You can ask tips and tricks and how to do this and how to do that for UV, for embroidery, for laser engraving, for hat hooping, for anything. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that because I will be sharing that here in the next couple of weeks. And like I said, I'm super excited that you guys are here. So thank you guys so much. So the first set is about almost done. So far it's going at 4 minutes and 33 seconds. It's telling me that it's 31% complete, which I kind of don't believe it because I am on the last row. So we shall see what happens here. And like right now, if I touch this, I can kind of feel somewhat of a texture. And that's without the spot color. So right now I'm gonna do one run of the spot color to kind of see what it feels like. And we're gonna run it like that. So like I said, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this. Now, the only thing that I am kind of disappointed about on the Thunder, great machine. It's not the Thunder. It's the fact that the bed on that is only 20 inches long. The Leatherette sheets are 24 inches long. So what I'm having to do is I'm having to make my canvas in Adobe Illustrator 12 by 18, not because I don't want to go to 20. I just want to make sure that I have enough room in case things do get cut off. I'm not able to do the cut part on the laser engraver. So what I end up just doing is I end up just making my canvas 12 by 18, and then I set all that up and it cuts perfectly on the laser engraver. So this thing is about almost done, but it's still showing me that it's at 50%, which doesn't seem right. That's the only thing I don't like about these refined Chinese printers, is that nothing's ever accurate when it comes to the timing and what's left on the job and all that cool stuff. So, but I'm just watching it now because I'm noticing that for this particular file, my print head, it does have a UV machine. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it has a UV light right there. And that UV light is hot. So with that UV light, what it does once this project is done, it like for some reason stays stagnant on the leatherette, and it stays on there for a while, and it has like some sort of magnifying glass that's projecting the UV light. And what it's doing, since it's hot, it's like making it really, really, really hot, and it's melting the leatherette. So I gotta watch it. So once it's done, I turn the lights off. In this particular case, it didn't do that, which is good. Now, here comes the next fun part. Now that I did the loft and lie, you guys can see here, now that I did the loft and lie patches, these are 2.5 inches, these are 2.75 inches. Now I'm gonna do the simple, only raised part. And for this, we are gonna run our spot color. We're gonna run it at 100%, and we're gonna print, and we're gonna let it go. I'm only gonna print it one time for now, and then see how it goes from there. Now the cool thing is that because I set it up in Adobe Illustrator, nothing moves, but I am excited because I am finally gonna try out a app called Patch It Up Pro. Talking to the owner of that particular app, waiting to hear back from him. But essentially what that does is all I have to do is input the picture. It does it all for me. I don't have to do nothing. With the click of a button, what takes me 15, 20 minutes per project, I'll be able to do it in less than 2 or 3 minutes. It's that simple, and it all does it for you, and I'm super excited. So if you guys see here, the white is getting laid down, but I'm only laying down the things that I want raised, right? So in particular, these particular ones, for this one here, I'm only doing the stuff that's bluish. And then for this one, I'm doing the stuff that's white. And then for this thing, I'm doing the one that's only green. So it's literally only gonna UV raise or lay down the white base for the things that I want to be textured. So in a minute, once I show you guys what that is, it's gonna look pretty solid, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. All right guys, so I went on ahead and did the first pass. Not too bad. It's starting to have a texture feel to it. I can actually run my hand and I can feel it. That's what I want. So because we did that, I'm gonna run it 2 more times. So it's gonna be a total of 3 passes with the UV. Perfect. And then I gotta go down just like a tad bit. That's it. While that's happening, we are going to come to the laser, and we're gonna turn it on. Now, if you guys are wondering, man, this guy's shop is dirty. We've been busy around here. We've been so busy, we don't have time to eat. Nah, I'm kidding. We do have time to eat. We're just so busy, y'all. And I'm trying to take advantage of the time before next week's craziness happens. So it's printing 2 more times. Right now is the first time. Oh, let me show y'all what I was talking about whenever I said the UV printer, or the UV printer's light tends to melt my leatherette. You guys can see that right there. It melts it. So I didn't like that, so I had to lower down the strength on this. So I'm running this 1 more time. Now it's looking really solid, y'all. I can really tell the textured rise to it. So all in all, it's a flat print. Then we're doing 3 passes of the UV white only, where it's certain parts that are raised, and it's gonna give it that nice textured feel. So while that's going, we are going to get our machine here. We're gonna open up Lightburn. We're gonna open up Lightburn and we're gonna set up the print file, the print and cut file. And I've already exported the SVG to only, actually no, it's not an SVG, it's a PDF that gets imported into Lightburn, and it's only the cutout with the registration marks. And what that's gonna do, it's literally going to do that. It's gonna, you know, I set point A, point B, and the machine does the rest of its thing, and it's gonna cut, it's literally gonna cut each patch in the way that it's supposed to go. So we're gonna show you guys in a minute how that looks, and it looks it's pretty freaking cool. All right guys, so I'm removing the UV printed Leatherette from the actual machine, and we are now gonna go to the laser engraver. However, remember how I told you guys that this machine only has a bed that's 20 inches wide? I have to cut this Leatherette. Now, this might be wasteful to some, but I'm actually gonna use this piece for another project that has to have white, and so that works out. So here's what I'm gonna do. I have this Leatherette printed patch here. As you guys can see, there's registration mark 1, registration mark 2, and it's the design. So before we get started, I need to make sure that I have this particular file. Did my computer die? No. My computer died. My computer died. My computer died, guys. So what I want to show you here, as I showed you guys earlier, registration mark 1, registration mark 2, the designs. These are 2.5, these are 2.75 inches wide, or not inches wide because it's a circle. But while my computer's rebooting, I'm gonna put these magnets on there so that this thing does not move. And I'm gonna put it right to the corner here. And I'm gonna place them right here. Now, if you guys have or know of a particular magnetic thing that I could use to make sure that the Leatherette does not move, let me know in the comment section, because I'm looking and I don't have any luck. That's one thing that's interesting about this community, is that you ask for help or advice, and then people are like, well, maybe your thing's not made out of metal and it's not magnetable. Bro, I use magnets every single time. I just need something that I can take on and off. And these are difficult to do that. But anyways, if you guys know anybody who sells them or a place where I can buy them, I don't have a 3D printer, so that's out the question. So if you guys have any idea where I can get them, let me know. While my computer is coming back to life, I am gonna select a spot on the printer or on the laser, and I'm gonna do autofocus. And as you guys can see, it's autofocusing based on the depth of this particular Leatherette. And while that's going, I'm gonna print the other job. But what I'm doing here is I am gonna go to my desktop and I'm gonna do the loft and lie cut sample 2. And I'm gonna rotate it -90. And -90 pretty much rotates it to the left, right? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna ungroup. I'm gonna select this one, group that, select this one, hit T2, group that. Then I'm gonna select all the ones in here, group that, and I'm gonna do the white. I'm gonna do 125, that's perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna select this, go to print, cut, start wizard, and now it's telling me to press to set first target position. So we are now on the patch, and I make sure that it's on the edge, right on the edge of this honeycomb, so that it doesn't move and it's pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna go here, move the dot right at the center of where the cross hatch crosses or whatnot. And excuse my head if it's in the way, but based on what I see, seems to be right in the dead center. I hit set on the computer, and then I'm gonna select the second point that says T2. I'm gonna hit jog, and it's gonna automatically move to this side. So now that it's moved to that side, it's kind of moved right, almost where I want it, but not really. So now I'm just doing some micro adjustments. I'm putting it where I kind of want it. Right there, looks like it's right. Maybe like right in the dead center there. Hit set. Hit scaled. I'm gonna select the item, make sure that I am on 25, which is my leather cut. It's a line 60. Shut this off. Turn my smoke evac on, and we're gonna let it rip. If everything's set up the way that it should be set up, then this is gonna cut fairly good. So we'll see this cut now, and it's actually cutting. And after that, it took 1 minute and 47 seconds to cut this entire project. So the project's cut. I'm gonna go to manual, open this up, move the print or the laser head, and I'm literally just going to remove each patch. So right off the bat, I'm noticing that something became unaligned or misaligned, and it probably got moved, and it was really just the ones on the top. But I already know that the 2.75 are going to be too huge for these type of hats. So we're going to end up going with the 2.5 inches, and I'll show you guys the big difference. So this is a 2.5, or this is a 2.5, which would literally lay like right here. You guys can see that. And then this is a 2.75, which I think is too big. Let me show y'all. So this is a 2.75, which I think is humongous personally. And then this is a 2.5, which I think is perfect. All right, so now that I have the hats done here, what I went on ahead and did is I went on ahead and measured from the hat there. So that's kind of like in the right spot where I think it needs to be. I'm waiting for my client to confirm that that's the right spot. Once he confirms, then we'll go ahead and print everything and cut it all, and it'll be a done deal. It's a total of 50 hats. Once he approves it all, we'll have 50 hats done in about an hour, and we'll be good to go. But if you guys like this video, let me know in the comment section what I should do next, what you guys want to see. And once again, I thank you guys so much for joining in. This is one of the first videos that I'll be throwing out there just to kind of showcase what we do here at Hat Stitch. So once again, thank you guys so much. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a huge favor, like the video, hit that bell notification, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can see all the videos that come up, all the shorts that come up. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace. God bless y'all. Thank you so much.